Greetings, world. We are Anonymous.
We have an announcement to make. The revolution has begun, and the revolution officially begins in 2 weeks on Monday, July 11th, 2016. We now understand, and you will now understand, that Barack Obama, the CEO of the United States Corporation that is posing as a government/control mind, operating in Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and has taken over the land of America with military forces out of U.S. Northern Command that is located in Colorado, is to be the last United States president. There will not be a 2016 U.S. presidential election. It all ends on July 11th, 2016. The United States Corporation is finished. It will have no more employees. And what we will tell you next will explain how the revolution begins on Monday, 11 July 2016, because that date is 1 week before the 2016 Republican National Convention that will take place in Cleveland, Ohio. In the past, we, Anonymous, have shown up in force to march, picket, assemble, and protest. But to this point, our assemblies have been met with police opposition, resistance, and violence. We have only accomplished to make a name for ourselves, Anonymous, through these mass assemblies. Well, now the revolution has begun, and we will begin to assemble with the intention of effecting a change and forwarding the purpose behind Anonymous. And that purpose is to free all of mankind from the global military-industrial complex. Step 1 of freeing all of mankind from the global military-industrial complex is to close the corporation that controls the military and police arm of the global military-industrial complex. That arm is called the United States Corporation. The United States Corporation is posing as a government. The word government literally translates to control mind. We will now tell you how we, Anonymous, are going to assemble and take a non-violent and peaceful action in the first step that will close the United States Corporation. At 9 a.m. on Monday morning, July 11th, 2016, all members of Anonymous will line up at the Vital Statistics Office of your state. Here is what you must bring with you to the Vital Statistics Office. You must bring 3 things with you. The first thing that you must bring with you is your birth certificate. Bring your original birth certificate. Bring your original because you are going to return it and give it back to the United States Corporation. And by doing so, you are informing the United States Corporation that you are no longer a person, citizen, or employee of their corporation or the state. And you are informing them that they no longer have the title to your body. Whoever makes the copy of the original document and issues the copy is by law the holder of the superior legal title to that thing or body. The second thing that you will bring is a new birth certificate made by you. This new birth certificate is a copy that you will make from a new original certificate of live birth that you will also make. This new certificate of live birth is now going to be the new superior legal title to your body. This means you will be in control of your body, and that no entity or authority that is wearing a uniform and hired by the United States Corporation can legally or lawfully arrest you, because you will now have the superior legal title. Between now and July 11th, 2016, all members of Anonymous must make a new certificate of live birth in color on their computer with all of their vital statistics contained on that document. Print out the new certificate of live birth, take it to a notary, and sign your new certificate of live birth in front of the notary. Have the notary stamp and sign the new certificate of live birth, and thus verify that you are the signer as the maker of the new certificate of live birth. Your new certificate, the new controlling document to your body. You now hold superior legal title to your human vessel, and nobody has control over your body other than you. Then make a copy of the new certificate of live birth and give the copy to the Vital Statistics office. The third item you will bring with you is a letter that provides instructions to the Vital Statistics office. The letter must inform them and the United States Corporation that you are returning your birth certificate, and that you are also delivering a copy of your new certificate of live birth. Advise them in the letter that you now are the holder in due course of the superior legal title of your human vessel, and that no entity has superior legal claim. This is the first step in the revolution. Taking control of your body by securing the superior legal title to your body and informing the U.S. corporation that they no longer control you in any way. We, Anonymous, will issue the next step of the revolution very soon. The second step in the revolution will be issued to you a date and time that we will assemble again and continue the revolution. The next step will request that all members of Anonymous turn in their social security cards to the United States Corporation. Once we have all turned in our social security cards and birth certificates, the United States Corporation will have no more employees. Therefore, the United States Corporation will cease to exist or be relevant. The United States Corporation will cease to have control over the now free men and women of America, and the need to vote for a new CEO, such as Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, will cease to exist. We now revolt against the global military-industrial complex by turning our backs on the United States Corporation. But that is not the final step, because after we return our social security card and quit the corporation, we will then secure control over our homes and land by updating the land patent of our land and securing a allodial title to our land and removing our land from the U.S. corporation's property appraiser list. Until the next message with the specific date and time, keep steadfast and continue to recruit new members of Anonymous. Together, we will collapse the global military-industrial complex and create a new world order that is made for mankind and by mankind. We are Anonymous. We are the men and women of America. We are the men and women of the world. No longer are we the persons or citizens of a corporation that is posing as a government/control mind. We are Anonymous.
Have you ever wondered why it is necessary to have a birth certificate in this country and many other countries like Canada and the United States? when you were born and it was registered onto a piece of paper, which your parent or parents signed with your name on it and signature of the doctor. That is known as a live birth record. Out of that document, the government of Canada has created a birth certificate with your name on it in all uppercase letters. They extracted it from the live birth certificate. On the birth certificate, it shows on the front your name, the day you were born, the place you were born, the date of creation of the birth certificate, the date it was issued to you, which is usually the age of 5 because of school, certificate number, gender, registration number, the province, government stamp with words written underneath, certificate extract from registration. On the back, it says province, alphanumerical digits in red color. Some say it's a bond number on the stock market and it's worth money. Others say it's the number which represents our obligations to pay debt.
But today, this country can become involved in a revolution that won't take bloodshed.
No man. I stand as myself and speak for myself in myself. That I am not the trustee over the all caps name that you're operating on.
Well, you're here in court today because you were charged with some charges.
I'm here in court today because I am making a special visitation. This is not an appearance, only spirits appear. Living men, living persons make special visitation. That's why I'm here, to make sure that you guys don't tander my truthful, proper name.
There's a worldwide revolution going on.
I live in myself in this body. I am the living man.
Did you apply for the public defender?
What use have I for a voice of ruin? They can only speak fictitious legalese to you. I speak natural living man's English to you. It's called common English. That's the only thing that I will keep. There will be no legalese used here.
Merriam-Webster informs us that a birth certificate is a copy of an official record of a person's date and place of birth and parentage. I certify this is a true copy of the record on file in the Hawaii State Department of Health. In reality, it's a limited set of details that are extracted or taken from the original copy of the record of birth and are stored in and retrieved from an electronic database. The original copy of the record of birth is not retrieved or viewed to produce the certified abstract from the record.
In North America, recording birth events and registering birth certificates did not happen until 1915 in the US, and shortly after 1933 it became a known practice in Canada and the US. So before 1933, which was only 79 years ago, there was no such thing as a birth certificate in Canada. To fully understand the agenda of the birth certificates, we have to take a look at what was happening in the United States. The agenda behind birth certificates had 3 motives, which was put into action specifically by puppet U.S. President Woodrow Wilson, Edward Mandell House, and the people that pulled their strings. The 3 motives are, number 1, to keep record of all human beings living on the landmass of Canada and the United States. Number 2, national debt. President Woodrow Wilson is the one who enacted the Federal Reserve Act, giving the Federal Reserve Bank power to create the United States currency. This is money being created for the U.S. out of thin air with compounded interest attached, lent to the citizens, is what put the U.S. economy into an engineered debt, which was designed so that it could never be repaid. This is a private corporation, guys. This is not a government corporation in the States. Because this debt is perpetually growing by the minute, the government has put its citizens as collateral to these bankers, and the birth certificate played a role in this.
An international Western power structure.
Well, you were charged on the 31st of August of 2013 with obstructing a police officer in violation of 457302. You were also charged on the same date with resisting arrest in violation of 457301 of the Montana Code.
Those men were charged by me right back by staging an overthrow of the Constitution of 1789, an overthrow of the Bill of Rights, an overthrow of my rights to forage for food as a natural living person who was in hunger. I was searching for something to put in my stomach, as I am recognized to be allowed to do by universal law, has nothing to do with your corporate fiction. They violated everything, and furthermore, for your knowledge, they violated Judge Holly Brown's Title 26 United States Code ruling, which I went before her and prevailed on 21st March 2011. EPO 9-58A is the case number wherein she evidenced that I am not a taxpayer because I am not a federal citizen. Federal law trumps state law at every turn. I have 9 judge rulings to that end, and that trumps state law. I am not registered crap. I am the living man, and I have the right to forage for food when I'm hungry.
It also certifies that the information provided is abstracted or taken from an electronic database, which itself is abstracted or taken from the original copy of the record of birth. It also certifies that an original record of birth is on file with the Hawaii Department of Health, and it serves as prima facie evidence of the fact of birth in any court proceeding in the state of Hawaii and in other states and federal jurisdictions where certified abstracts of birth are accepted as evidence. This is why some of the so-called birthers want so badly to see the certificate of live birth. It isn't because they doubt that he was born in Hawaii, but they want to see the birthplace of his father, because they can't bring any kind of a lawsuit in a court of law until they can provide some kind of prima facie evidence. And the certification of live birth gives us no reason to doubt that he's a natural-born citizen. However, the certificate of live birth would give us a reason to doubt that he's a natural-born citizen by informing us that his father was born in Kenya and was therefore a natural-born subject of the United Kingdom. It's important to be honest, even if others do not, even if others will not, even if others cannot.
This has happened because the Bank of Canada, like I said, has contracted its work to print our money to companies like BA International, who create money out of thin air and lend it to us, which eventually we have to pay back with compounded interest attached. That's not regular interest, that's compounded interest. The debt can mathematically never be paid back by the way this system of money creation is designed. The red numbers and letters on the back is said to represent our pledge to pay back the debt. That money generated has been rumored that it goes into the Consolidated Revenue Fund.
A tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations.
Don't you touch me. I am the living man protected by universal law.
You keep talking, and you're going to be charged with contempt, and you're going to go to jail.
You have already contempted this place.
No, I told you I would if you didn't.
Get down here. These are the living witnesses to what you're trying to do.
Very
You are trying to create a fictitious fraudulent action. You are trying to bilk the Federal Reserve by securitizing in all caps commercialized names and notifying them that they are standing in debt now. If you touch me, you will violate natural law. Do not come near me. I am protected by the law.
Don't tell me to shut up.
I am the living natural man, and my voice will be heard. It is the Jolly Roger. That thing you call the American flag with the gold fringe around it is the Jolly Roger, and you are acting as one of his privateers.
Okay, you're here on the charge of arrest.
I'm here by special visitation.
Right. And
I've never let you get away with this. You bet I'm here.
To each charge could be up to a $500 fine, up to 6 months in jail.
I do not understand any charges. I only understand universal law and the right to live.
Well, you
To
pled
live
not
at peace
guilty.
and to live as I need to.
You pled not guilty in this.
I never plead. Animals plead. Sounds like, bah, oink oink.
I have a paper with your signature on it, sir.
It says prime evidence standing right through it. You bring forward all natural forms of evidence that I'm not prime evidence. I am the living soil. The dirt, the water, and the air has its own voice, does it not? It all supports forms of life, does it not? I am a part of that life. I am not your corporate fiction.
Sir,
Do not danger me.
you're here today on an omnibus hearing. You've already pled not
I am
guilty.
here by special visitation to see to it that you do not danger my natural living man's name.
Are you prepared
That's
to
why
tell
I'm
the
here.
court if you wish to go to trial on this matter?
This is a trial. Tell me
No,
it's
this
not.
isn't a trial.
Here's my
This is
jury
an
of my
omnibus
peers.
hearing, sir.
You cannot produce a jury of my peers because all juries are selected from a pool of registered voters, and the instant a person registers to vote, their natural ability as a peer to comprehend natural law has been dissolved and turned into fiction. There cannot be raised a jury of my peers. It cannot be done.
Excuse me for just a moment.
No way. Get back here and finish this. Hey, get back here and finish this. The judge has left the courtroom. There you go.
Yeah.
There is nobody in this courtroom.
Yeah.
The judge has
Yeah.
walked out.
The judge will walk down.
I
Everybody up
said
and
no
out.
excuse.
Everybody up and
I'm
out.
not letting you
Up and out.
go.
Americans, mobilize. Stand together, stand tall. Tell the government you're mad as hell. No longer cooperate with the government. Do not accept the national ID card. Do everything in your power to restore freedom and your individuality back to America.
The third motive is the creation of the legal fiction. Governments cannot control free will human beings. In order to control the humans have to first give up some type of consent to give power to these governments. They know people do not give up their rights and freedoms willingly. Have you ever wondered why your name is all in capital letters when you get mail sent to you from banks, governments, and when you get the bills? The government created a fictional entity for you to use in the system. It is basically a corporation, all capital letters. This is known as the legal name in legal terms. The name in all capital letters is not you. So from the original document that your parents signed creates the birth certificate that we carry in our pockets. It also creates our Canadian citizenship. From that tiny birth certificate that we carry in our pockets, it's also used to create other forms of identification such as health cards, SIM cards, and driver's licenses. Without the birth certificate, those other things couldn't exist in the realm of the government Canada's rules and regulations. People are swayed to believe that they are these pieces of plastic and paper. To me, this is outrageously silly. The government has manipulated generations of people, convincing them that they are the birth certificate and they are the plastic identification. In factual truth, the birth certificate and other identifications are nothing more than legal fictions. That's right. Created by the government. When people represent their identification, they are representing the fiction the government created, and this fiction is bound by government rules, restrictions, and taxation. So when Parliament makes laws, and when one reads those laws, which are known as statutes and acts, and when it refers to those that are bound by it, it refers to them as persons or subjects.
To stand up and do what's necessary to take back, to stop these bankers, this elite, this government full of lies, congressmen full of liars.
The greatest enemies of the Constitution are not to be found in the sands of some far-off land, but rather right here at home.
When it comes to legal definitions, there are two types of persons. One, legal person, and two, natural person. The legal person, or legal name, is the identification, the fictional entity, and the natural person is the human being, conscious and divine, free thinking. So let's look at some legal definition. Legal name is the name that an individual is given at birth and or recognized by a government or other legal entity, or which appears on birth certificate, marriage certificate, or other government-issued document. Legal person. A legal person, in brackets, also artificial person, body corporate, also commonly called a vehicle, please take note of that, has a legal name and has rights, protections, privileges, responsibilities, and liabilities under law. They're not specific as to what law, but it's liabilities under statutory law. Take note of the words artificial, corporate, and vehicle. It is not a real living thing. It is a fiction. It is a name that is used as a vehicle in their system. Natural person. Natural person is a real human being, as opposed to legal person, which may be a corporation or state. Yes. That is the legal definition of natural person. So to be clear, you are a natural person and your identification is the legal person. The citizens do not own this small piece of paper, the birth certificate. The government owns it, hence why it is stamped.
When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. It is time we start meeting oppression with resistance. They cannot stop us.
Let's recap the 3 reasons why birth certificates exist. It is to keep statistics and records of all humans' births information, make us collateral to the banks that lend the country the money, and use our hard-earned money to pay back the debt, and create the legal fiction and fool us to believe we are the legal fiction so that we become bound by statutes, acts, and taxation.
Resist we must, and resist we will. We will not be silent, we will not obey, we will not let our government destroy our humanity. We will not wait another moment in fear to stand up for what we know to be right. It is time we start meeting oppression with resistance.
So let's take a look at the similarities between warehouse receipts and birth certificates. Both document the date of issue, serial number or certificate number, registration numbers, a description of the product or names, and a signature of an authorized informative to notify the proper government agency. I think it's pretty fair to say that the government of Canada and the big bankers look at us like commercial products. They look at us citizens as a way to extort on a massive scale, enslave and make huge profits off the fruits of our labor and from the entire financial economy.
And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Just take a look at the Vital Statistics Act, Section 1 in Canada. Birth means the complete expulsion or extraction from its mother, irrespective of the duration of pregnancy, of a product of conception. I just want to touch down on the SIN card right quick. It was created after the Depression, like the birth certificate. The SIN card is extracted from the birth certificate and, in fact, makes you an employee of the federal government. Yeah, the government of Canada is nothing more than a corporation that has corporate policies that are enforced upon their employees. By you having a SIN card is, in factual truth, making you an agent of the government. If you are not an agent of the corporation known as the Government of Canada, you don't have to follow the rules and regulations. Because most of the rules involve taking our money and they convert our rights into privileges, and they also convert our rights into crimes.
I served with Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines as an automatic machine gunner. There's a term, once a Marine, always a Marine, but there's also the term, eat the apple, F the core. I don't work for you no more.
Let me put it this way. Walmart has corporate policies and it's a corporation. It has rules and regulations for its employees, correct? Yeah. So if someone from Walmart came up to you in the street and said, hey, you're not allowed to wear sandals, and you ask them, why not? And they would, if they replied, because Walmart policy says so, well, heck, I'm pretty sure you'd laugh at them and be like, man, I'm not in Walmart. I don't work for Walmart, so buzz off, right? It's the same thing with these, rules and regulations the government's making. They tricked us into using the SIN, which actually enforces the rules and regulations. So why do you think cops always ask for ID? It is so they can find a legal person, the legal name to enforce the policies of the Government of Canada. Like I said, it's the legal fiction they created. Police used to be called peace officers. Now they are called police officers, policy officers. Your driver's license is also extracted from the birth certificate.
And I'm a Marine. I took an oath to defend the Constitution. The Constitution! I didn't take an oath to defend these banksters. And I guarantee you, all you devil dogs out there need to rise up and take over this country and defend the Constitution against these bulls. Okay, I'm sick of it too, Alex. I'm a Marine, but I'm sick of this. They're using us and they're sucking us dry and they are destroying us.
That is how we are enslaved and deceived by the birth certificate.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
You will expect us soon enough.